Facebook.
Hi everyone, my name is AJ.
And my name is Deborah, and we will be your hosts for tonight, and we want to welcome you back to Klesis Live.
Whoop, whoop. For those of you guys joining us for the first time, you might be wondering, what is Klesis? Well, we are a college Christian fellowship for students in the Pacific Northwest, but you don't have to be in the PN dubs to check out Klesis Live or connect with us.
That's right. If you guys have been joining us for the past 3 episodes, you'll know that Klesis means divine appointment or divine invitation in Greek, and we want to invite you each week to join us as we'll be streaming content every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be having some fun together, learning a little bit more about the Bible, and hopefully getting to know each other through the process as well. And like always, don't forget to like, comment, or write in the chat, either or. And subscribe here on our YouTube channel, as well as follow us on Instagram at Klesis Seattle.
All right, big shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out fam. To all you guys, the hundreds bros, to the juniors. Deborah and I will be jumping on there during some of the segments, so we look forward to interacting with you. And yeah, I'm stoked.
Yeah,
excited for it.
I feel like I should say shout out to the Green Lake sisters too, just since we talked about the 100. Anyway, shout out to all our viewers out there. We're so glad you guys could join us. But
right.
Yeah, we want to kick off tonight with another question. We've been doing that the past couple of episodes. Last week we did, what's the best type of cookie? And we know that chocolate chip is the first place and snickerdoodle is the second place. So now that we're moving on, we'll be asking a new another question. And that, actually it's just kind of just me and AJ sharing a little bit about ourselves, since we're going to be talking about music and playing some music tonight. And that is, what is our favorite high school song? So you're also going to get to know, I guess, well, not really. Anyway, I was gonna say you're gonna get to know when we went to high school, but I guess AJ's song is not really. It doesn't date him.
It doesn't.
So,
okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna just take it and I'm gonna share my favorite high school jam.
Go for it.
Throwback to the 1980s from before I was born. More Than a Feeling by Boston. I love the guitar. Tom Scholes, great guy. Yes, that's right. My dad showed that to me and I love the song.
Classic rock. That's nice. So for those of you guys who don't know, AJ is actually a guitarist. So I thought you were gonna choose something, I don't know, some other song like from We the Kings or something, but I guess, yeah, it's good to know. That's your favorite high school song.
All right, I'm gonna guess yours. Is it Taylor Swift?
It is. It's like You Know Me or something. Yes, it is a Taylor Swift song. I think my favorite high school jam or favorite high school song is probably a Taylor Swift song. If I had to choose one, it'd be You Belong With Me by Taylor Swift. I'm actually kind of embarrassed to admit that right now in front of all you guys, so that's a little vulnerability right there. I did used to listen to Taylor Swift a lot. She was one of my, I used to listen to her a lot. It was a little bit unhealthy, so I do think I admire her storytelling and her ability to kind of wrap up a teenage girl's feelings into a 3-minute song. Like, that's pretty impressive. But yeah, I haven't listened to her in a while, so I actually don't know what her new songs are or whatever.
All right, well, hope you guys enjoyed that. We're gonna start off the night with our first segment, AMA, or Ask Me Anything, where our friend Alan is going to answer some different common questions about Christianity.
So, today we're going to be answering the question of how do we know the Bible is reliable? Pretty important question if you ask me, so let's go ahead and find out.
Hey everyone, my name is Alan and welcome to Ask Me Anything. Actually, why don't we change this to AAA? Ask Alan Anything? Doesn't that just sound so much better?
Because we might replace you if we don't do a good job today.
Oh. Hey everyone, my name is Alan and welcome to Ask Me Anything. In this segment, we'll explore some commonly asked questions about Christianity. You can ask me anything, and you might be thinking, really? Ask you anything? Do you really know the answer to everything? And you're right, I don't know the answer to everything. But I do like to think about these different questions, and there's a lot of research out there and resources for us to explore and investigate. So go ahead and ask, and we'll learn along the way. Today we'll tackle a very commonly asked question about Christianity. Is the Bible trustworthy? This is an extremely important question because Christians claim that the Bible is the divinely inspired Word of God, and then they base their whole lives on what it has to say. But how can anyone believe in the Bible? The Bible is composed of 66 different books with 40 different authors, and the oldest part being written almost 3,000 years ago. How do I know that the Bible that I'm reading today is the same as the one recorded all the way back then? Take the game of telephone, for example. Let's say we line up 10 people, and I take a page from my diary, and I read it to the first person. Then I ask them to tell it to the next person, so on and so forth, until it is passed down to the 10th person. By the time it reaches the 10th person, we might be left with maybe one sentence at the end that is maybe somewhat right. Everything else would probably be all jumbled up and nowhere close to the original. I'm certain that there are definitely more than 10 people as the Bible is being passed down from generation to generation. Like 3,000 years is a really, really long time. How can anyone trust in the reliability of the Bible then? Well, thankfully there are good answers out there. Let's check out this video to help us get a better understanding on this topic.
Since none of the original Bible manuscripts have survived, how do we know that the Bible is reliable? The Jewish scribes were devoted to accurately copying the Old Testament scriptures. They guarded against scribal mistakes by intricate counting methods. They numbered the letters and words of each book. They counted the number of times a letter was used within each book. They counted the middle letter and middle word of each book. They numbered just about anything that could be counted and used these counting systems as a means of error checking. The scribes looked upon the sacred text with an almost superstitious reverence. Any manuscript copy with errors or worn out from use were buried. Their motive was to ensure that the material upon which the sacred name of God was inscribed was of superb quality. Because of their meticulous quality control, the scribes were not concerned about having a paper trail of ancient copies to compare against. They considered any manuscript that had been carefully copied and carefully checked to be as authentic as any other manuscript, regardless of its age. Because the scribes did not retain worn-out copies, the oldest Old Testament manuscripts available in modern times dated only as far back as about 900 AD. However, in 1947, ancient Hebrew manuscripts were discovered in caves near the Dead Sea. These manuscripts were at least 1,000 years older than any previously known and contained portions of every Old Testament book except one. When the text of the Dead Sea Scrolls were compared with the newer manuscripts, the textual variations were almost non-existent. Likewise, the New Testament manuscripts have proven to be remarkably accurate. When comparing all the Greek manuscripts with each other, the accuracy rate is found to be at 99.5%. The 0.5% of textual variations are mostly composed of spelling and grammatical differences. Amazingly, these textual variations are so insignificant that they do not alter the message in any meaningful way. There are over 10,000 manuscript copies of the Old Testament and more than 5,600 manuscripts of the New Testament with an accuracy that is unrivaled amongst other literature from the ancient world. If we compare the number of Bible manuscripts to other ancient literary works, the Bible far outweighs them in both quantity and quality. The Bible manuscripts are a superb collection of ancient documents from which our modern Bibles are translated.
Wow, that was a lot. Just to recap some of the main points before we go. Number 1, write it like you mean it. The ancient Jews made copies of the scripture with such a high level of reverence, with so many checks. To refute the earlier telephone game example, what if instead of listening and trying to remember, each person actually wrote it out and passed it down? It's true that there might still be some careless errors along the way when copying it down, but what if they're not copying down my diary? Instead, what if they're copying down their bank account number? Man, I bet they would be way more meticulous and careful about that. And the copying of scripture was like that though, and even more. Number 2, blast from the past, the Dead Sea Scrolls. In the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls, we now have an ancient copy of scripture dated all the way back to 150 BC, which is more than 2,000 years ago. And when we compare that manuscript to what you and I are reading today, they're almost identical. This gives us the confidence that what was written in the Bible did not change over time. Lastly, number 3, strength in numbers. There are over 10,000 manuscript copies of the Old Testament and 5,600 copies of the New Testament. Having so many copies means we can compare them for differences. And when we do, they are 99.5% in agreement. And the slight differences do not alter the message in any meaningful way. Going back to my diary example, it is like 10 years later, there are 100 people, each with their own copy of the diary. But when you collect them all and compare them, they're all the same. When that is the case, you can have a high level of confidence that these copies are the same as the original diary I wrote down, because they cannot all be wrong in the same exact way. So yeah, these are some of the reasons why we can trust that the Bible is reliable. I am personally thankful that there are so many good reasons to believe that the Bible we read today is the same as when it was first written down. So as I try to live it out, I don't have to wonder in the back of my head, the copy that I have is the same as when it was first written down. Ultimately, I believe in the Bible more than just because there are compelling reasons to trust it, but like a user manual explains everything about a phone or a car, when I try to live it out, it matches my life experiences. Okay, that's all we have for this segment today. Thank you so much for tuning in and see you around.
All right, thank you so much, Alan, for sharing that with us.
Yeah, hopefully you guys found that helpful. And we're going to be continuing on with our other segments. But before that, we wanted to talk about the giveaway.
That's right. So if you guys have been following us on our Instagram, then you'll know that we've been giving away different items. And this week, we're going to be giving away a $100 DoorDash gift card.
Wow, that's nice. All right, we're going to make it a little bit more interesting this week. So we're going to give you guys the first letter of the code word that you'll need to DM to our Instagram, Klesis.Seattle. So, Deborah, what is that first letter?
So the first letter is V, like in victory. But victory's not the code word, so don't DM that to us. But the V is just the first letter, and we'll be giving the rest of the letters during Klesis Live today.
Awesome. All right. Well, we got 2 segments for you as promised coming right up. First thing we're going to check out is Jade's segment, Thumbs Up, where she's going to introduce us to a new Christian resource. And afterwards, we're going to be hanging out with Jake at home in his hometown of Auburn, Washington, and check out some cool trick shots that he made for us. All right, let's check it out.
Hi guys, welcome back to Thumbs Up. For those of you who don't know me from the previous episode, my name is Jade, and just to give a little intro about myself, I went to the University of Washington and graduated in the class of 2020, woohoo! And I also grew up in Southern California, so shout out to all you Southern Californians out there. I grew up going to church all my life, but sometimes when my friends would ask me questions about my faith, I actually had a really hard time explaining what they're asking. For example, my friends would ask me questions like, how did dinosaurs fit into the Genesis creation account? But sometimes there are more serious questions like, if God is good, why is there suffering in the world? Or how can we believe in a God we can't see? And how do we know that the resurrection of Jesus is real? And first off, I want everyone to know that there are answers for these types of questions, and I'm so glad that you're asking, whether you're a Christian or not. There are also some really good books out there that can help answer some of these questions too. But today, I want to introduce you to a website called Reasonable Faith. Dr. William Lane Craig is one of the leading scholars and Christian apologists of our time. He's a Christian theologian and philosopher with a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and 2 PhDs. Now, this website includes a lot of his work, like his podcasts and articles on the questions I mentioned before. And his team also created a lot of videos on topics like arguments for the existence of God and so much more. If you have questions about the evidence for Christian faith, most likely Dr. Craig has wrote an article or two, spoken a debate or a podcast about the topic, and you can find it all on his website. Or you can even check out Dr. Craig's book, On Guard, which has a lot of similar information on these topics as well. So I hope this was helpful, and see you everyone. This was Thumbs Up.
So Jake, I feel like the viewers at home don't really know who you are still.
What's up guys, I'm Jake. Welcome to my hometown of Auburn. Today we're going to show you some trick shots.
So, I'm going to ask like 3 random facts about you. Go ahead.
1, I have a dog named Mr. Miyagi. He's a Shiba Inu. 2, I might just look like some random white dude to you. I'm actually a quarter Japanese. And 3, I'm a business major. So, I love finance. If you have any financial questions, feel free to ask me. Hey, down here. This is a sitting basketball shot. Let's go! Hey, I'm Gerald. You might know me from GG.
You're special.
And this is the blindfolded 3-point shot.
Yeah.
You got this. All right, I've never thrown down an alley-oop before. I'm super excited to give this a try. I have some friends give me some help. Let's do this. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! That's how you do it!
I'm a junior, you're a junior. We're in the same fellowship together. I guess that kind of makes us friends. What's like the best part about being my friend?
I gotta say the best part about our friendship has definitely been how I've just beat up on you constantly in basketball. I'm just kidding. Definitely it's been just out on Tuesday nights when we get together for life group, you know, do a little devotions together, learn something about the Lord, and then go eat dinner, just hang out, get some boba, whatever. It's definitely been my favorite part.
It's been a good year with Jake.
If you haven't noticed, trick shots are kind of my thing. And check out this one I made with my friends at Klesis last year.
You've been around Auburn for a while. What's the best thing to do here?
If you ever take a trip out to Auburn, there's really nothing here. We got a shopping mall, that's about it. It's called the Super Mall, not the Outlet Collection as it's now officially called. The best thing to do here is kind of just make up your own stuff to do. Me and my friends got together a couple years ago. We laid out some slip and slides, some kiddie pools, filled them up with water, put some soap on there, and played slip and slide kickball. So that's just one idea, that ton of fun, and yeah. You thought this was a water break? No, this is another trick shot. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining me this week in my hometown of Auburn. I look forward to seeing y'all next time. Let's go!
Wow, Jake is insanely good at trick shots.
He
Like
is, yeah.
that blindfold one, that was crazy.
That was pretty awesome. Yeah, I do also want to say that I love his dog's name, Mr. Miyagi. That's pretty adorbs. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and move on to Real Talk. And today we'll be talking about true happiness and hearing from our friend James. So we got to talk to him earlier this week, so we'll go ahead and roll a video of that time together.
All right, hi everybody. We are here at the Hundreds Apartments, and
We're doing a special thing today.
doing a special thing.
Yes.
So we're here with James. You might have seen him on 5 and 5 and Real Talk. Sorry,
GG. Yeah, so if you guys might remember from his story back in 5 and 5, he mentioned that he's a musician and he sings, so we thought it'd be cool if he shared his story through songs.
So James, if you could pick a song that categorizes your life growing up, what song would it be?
If I were to choose a song, it would be Some Say by Sum 41.
Ooh, all right. Going some angsty punk rock. Shall we play it for our viewers?
Let's play
Let's do it.
yeah.
All right, let's do it.
1, 2, 3, 4. Some say we're never meant to grow up. I'm sure they never knew enough. I know the pressures won't go away. It's too late. Find out the difference somehow. It's too late to even have faith. Don't think things will ever change. You must be dreaming. Think before you make up your mind. You don't seem to realize that I can do this on my own. And if I fall, I'll take it all. It's so easy after all.
Unresolved tension.
Yes.
You were an angsty guy, weren't you?
Yeah.
So why did you choose that song?
Growing up, I actually experienced a lot of pressure from my parents to kind of do something with my life. Like, I got to make something out of it. But then at the same time, I had a lot of kind of existential questions about life. And I was really agonizing over these. Yeah, I think Some Say, that song, just really captures a lot of that bottled angst in me.
So moving on, how about college? How would you describe your life coming into college in a song?
The song I would choose is The Great Escape by Boys Like Girls because, I just kind of want to get away from thinking about life and all of its pressures. Honestly, I just kind of want to try being happy. So, yeah.
Oh, Boys Like Girls. It's
Throwback.
like middle school.
My middle school days, yeah, actually.
I think that just might have dated us.
1, 2, 3, 4. Tonight will change our lives. It's so good to be by your side, but we'll cry. We won't give up the fight. We'll scream loud at the top of our lungs, and they'll think it's just 'cause we're young, and we'll feel so alive. Throw it away, forget yesterday. We'll make the great escape. We won't hear a word they say. They don't know us anyway. Watch it burn, let it die, 'cause we are finally free tonight.
So you were sharing earlier about you wanting to party and to do all that in college. How did that turn out for you? Was it everything that you hoped it would be?
Eventually, at some point, I ended up in Korea for 5 weeks. It was under the guise of a Korean language program. But what that really meant was that I was just engaging in the really, really intense Korean drinking culture. It turned out to be I felt the most empty and depressed I've ever been in my life, actually. One verse that actually really captures this from the book of Matthew is for what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and forfeits his soul? Yeah, I think that was really true to my experiences. I got what I wanted, but I wasn't happy, and I still felt like my life was still meaningless. The thing that I missed was that we each have a soul, and we're designed to have a relationship with God. And for me, I didn't even consider God in the picture, and so I want to have that right relationship with Him. Clearly, I wasn't doing a good job taking care of my life anyway. So yeah, I just committed my life to God, saying, Jesus, you lead my life instead.
Yeah, I really appreciate you sharing that. So, just curious, what song would you pick to categorize this part of your life?
Yeah, I think the song I would choose is "More to This Life" by Stephen Curtis Chapman. There's all these things that we think we can pursue and that they'll fulfill us, but ultimately they won't. And for me, that was drinking and partying, and you know how that went. True life and purpose, it comes from God and a right relationship with Him.
Wow, yeah. Thanks for sharing, James. Really appreciate that. And I really love this song, so I'm super excited to play. So why don't we get to it? Get to it.
All right, let's do it.
Yes.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Today I watched in silence as people passed me by, and I strained to see if there was something hidden in their eyes. But they all looked back at me as if to say, life just goes on. The old familiar story, told in different ways. Make the most of your own journey from the cradle to the grave. And dream your dream tomorrow, because today life must go on. Oh, but there's more to this life than living and dying. More than just trying to make it through the day. More to this life, more than these eyes alone can see. And there's more than this life alone can be. So where do we start to find every part of what makes this life complete? What makes this life complete? We turn our eyes to Jesus, we'll find life's true beginning is there at the cross where He died to bring us more to this life. The living and dying, more than just trying to make it through the day. More to this life, more than these eyes alone can see. And there's more than this life alone can be.
My voice totally cracked.
It's okay.
It's all right. It's all good.
There's more to this life.
There's more to this life.
More to this life.
Anyways, there you go. Well, that's it. James, that was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And yeah, really enjoyed making some music with you.
Nice.
All right. Well, that's it for this. And we'll see you guys back at the studio.
See ya.
Bye.
All right. Thanks again, James, for your story and for the fun jam session.
Yes. Hey, James' story actually gave me some thoughts. Is it cool if I share it with our viewers?
For sure. I'm going to jump on the chat. So.
All right.
Sounds good.
Awesome. So I want to pick up where James left off. He said that he was chasing after some things that he thought would make him happy, but they didn't. And, I think this is a universal statement that everybody experiences. Marcus Persson, if you don't know him, he's the creator of Minecraft. After he sold Minecraft to Microsoft and became a billionaire, he actually had this to say on Twitter. He tweeted, "Hanging out in Ibiza with a bunch of friends and partying with famous people, able to do whatever I want, and I've never felt more isolated." Interestingly enough, Grammy nominee Mike Posner, he wrote a song about this exact experience. In his song, I Took a Pill in Ibiza. And in it, he says the following lines as he opens up the song. I took a pill in Ibiza to show Avicii I was cool. And when I got sober, felt 10 years older, but forget it. It was something to do. And, his conclusion from all of this experience, he writes in the chorus, he says, now you don't want to be high like me, never really knowing why like me. You don't want to ever step off that roller coaster and be all alone. Thousands of years ago, a wise man in the Bible said basically the same thing too. King Solomon, the wisest man in the Bible, had everything, money, power, pleasures, and he said to himself, you know what, let me just enjoy all of this. But likewise, he concluded in Ecclesiastes 2 verse 11, then I considered all that my hands had done, and the toil I had expended in doing it. And behold, all was vanity and a striving after the wind, and there was nothing to be gained under the sun. So it begs the question then, what's the answer to true happiness? I mean, our culture says, do what you enjoy, do what makes you feel good. But as we just saw, that doesn't really work. Well, Jesus, he says this rather provocative statement in Matthew chapter 16, verse 25. He says, for whoever would save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will save it. In other words, when we try to live for ourselves and save our lives, we end up losing it, like James and all these other guys experienced. But when we instead lose our lives and give it away for something else, that's when real life happens. But I also want to note that it's not just giving our lives away for anything. Jesus says very specifically, whoever loses his life for my sake will save it. In other words, it's when we give our lives to Jesus and live life his way. And, to just be real, it's not like losing our life to Jesus is a begrudging thing. For example, think about a mom. Here's a picture of me and my mom. Mom, if you're watching, I love you. You're awesome. But you think about a mom, right? And how she loses her life for her child. All the times she lost sleep to change diapers in the middle of the night or feed him, or the lost weekend spent on soccer games instead of relaxing, money lost to buy new clothes for her child instead of for herself. And, sure, she was losing, but ask any mom and they do it all over again. Why? Because in losing, they gained a loving relationship with their son or daughter. And this is the life that Jesus is inviting us to, right? It's the life of loving people through and loving others as we love God. And I would even go as far as say as this is what we were made for. Ephesians 2 verse 10 says, for we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works. We're created for good work. And when we step into that good work of serving others, we find true happiness and fulfillment as Jesus promised. So that goes back to our question, what is true happiness? Well, true happiness isn't found in living for myself, but it's found in finding what is my life for, and it's for serving God and serving others. I remember my junior year of college, my friends and I from my fellowship, we put on this camp for a couple Christian youth groups down in San Diego, California, and actually I have a picture of it right here. This is one of the youth groups that we visited and helped out with. And while several of our classmates from school, they're relaxing, going on trips and vacations, we spent our summer break prepping games and activities for the youth. We were preparing skits and special songs, as well as even talks that we had during the sessions of this camp. And to a certain degree, you could say, yeah, we lost our chance to rest and enjoy the break by choosing to spend that time working, prepping, and putting on the camp. But I remember seeing how happy those kids were and how thankful they were that their mentors, and their mentors were actually really thankful too, for us being able to put on that camp. And, as I saw the smiles on their faces, I remember thinking, man, you know what? There is nothing else I would rather do with my life than serve people like this. And, I think we know that living for others is really what's fulfilling in life. But I think what's also true is that we don't really always do this. I mean, truth be told, I know what I ought to do, but I find it really hard when I got to do it on my own. Take, for example, you're doing a run like Klesis did recently with a Run for the Cause, and you're gonna train for a 5K or a 10K, right? Like, you should train for that 10K because running cold turkey is really painful. But man, like, just being real, right? Lounging on the couch and watching Netflix is way easier than lacing up a pair of shoes and going for a run. But if you do it together with friends, not only is it just easier to get out of the house because your friend's like texting you like, dude, where are you? We're at the track waiting for you. But you go on this run together and you get to have fun and commiserate together. And in the same way, in Christian life, we know what's true and what's right, what we ought to do, but we need a community of people around us to live out Christian life together. And when it gets hard, there's people to help along the way. Plus, life is just more fun with friends. And so, I'm going to make a shameless plug right now for small groups because that is the perfect opportunity to live that out. Honestly, small groups is one of the best things that I ever did in college, and it was with those same friends in my small group that we put on that youth camp together. And we're going to be starting up soon, and so I really want to encourage you to sign up. We'll pop a link in the chat for you. And yeah, please definitely sign up for small groups.
All right. Cool. Thank you for that real talk.
Oh, let me move this.
Thank you for running shoes. Yes. But yeah, I heard you talking about small groups, and I just wanted to say and mention that I think actually it's a good idea maybe to just give people a chance to sign up right now. So we're going to throw up that QR code again on the screen right now. Sign up, sign up, sign up, sign up, and done.
All right. Just want to mention that if you happen to be watching this video like a couple days, weeks, months, even later, then you can still sign up for small groups. We are always open for you guys to join, and yeah, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, the link will be in the description if you're watching later, or I don't know if live chat is playing, it'll be on there too.
There you go.
All right, and we do have a couple announcements before we head out for the night.
All right, so first we have the remainder of the letters for our code word for the giveaway. So you got the first one earlier. I'm gonna give you the last two letters for this week's giveaway code word, which is A and N. Okay,
right.
A and N. Put that with the first word and...
There we go. Go ahead and DM that, and that spells the word that you will want to send to Klesis Instagram to submit your entries.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, last announcement is it's kind of a sad announcement,
It's a little
but
bit sad, yeah.
yeah, we are sad to announce that Klesis Live will be coming to a close. So we're gonna have our finale episode in 2 weeks. It's been a good run.
It's been a good
We've enjoyed spending time with you guys. I hope you've enjoyed spending time with us, but sadly, all good things must come to an end.
Yeah. And just to let you guys know, we'll also be taking a week hiatus to prepare for that finale episode. So we'll be airing it on October 8th. But you guys can always hang out with us through small group. That's right. If you called it before I said it, then nice. You've been listening.
All right. Well, that's all we got for tonight. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks for the finale episode of Klesis Live. All right.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.